Good evening, Speed Gaming. We are we have a little bit of a situation where both temp and death taxes N64 have already begun. Stay tuned for cropping. We will be right there, and yeah, we will be able to tell you what's going on. And I am Josh Bittner, joined by Lumaga.
Hello.
And we are seeing them leave Link's house. Didn't get anything exciting.
What do you mean? That's 300 rupees. That's exciting.
True, I love $300, you know.
Sure. No, we did have a bit of a hurry up and let's go start on this. Yeah, welcome to Speed Gaming. Welcome to the Cash Boots Tournament. We are starting off Timp and Death Taxes N64. I think this is their second match. And I think this one has some bracket implications.
Sure does. Timp needs to win this because if they do, they will, I believe, kind of secure a spot. I'm opening the challenge right now. Timp. Yeah, Timp needs this to get to 3-3 and force a tie with B. Bunnell. And Death Taxes N64 needs to win this match and his remaining 2 matches to stay alive. So this is a pretty hype match. And yeah, we're just here and we're happy to be here to feature it for y'all. And I think we're actually, you know, big ups to our SG helper, Mad Ewok Herd, getting these crops in. We failed to gate the runners in time. They just kind of clicked go right off the hop, right as
Classic
soon as I had
Timp
opened
moment.
in there. So we're getting there with our crops. And
Yeah, you two are, or we two are on the mic, and we've got Zestro Zooks on tracking for us. Not a whole lot of activity so far. I think we found some bombs and some money and a single arrow, but thank you for tracking for us.
It's kind of a little bit of a last minute thing here, but we pulled it together, so we're getting there. We're working through it. I'm sure glad that I filled up my water bottle before I sat down and accepted the invite to the lobby here. And there's our logical, or would have been boots in escape there. So, but just $20 this time. And we even have bombs, so we don't even have to do any like bonk shenanigans next to the witch hut to get a couple of bombs for Kakariko. Save some money too.
Yeah, no need to buy them. No need to bonk them. Maybe they'll be good in a tree pull. Get them for free. Oh, we got a moon pearl. That's something we want to see.
That's always nice because then it lets you for the what's it called? For the typical play after Ice Rod Cave of doing a water dash to the camper, you would be able to do both the camper and still be able to have a splash delete available to go to the Zora domain area and get your out of logic checks there.
Casual boots though gives you a little bit of leeway because you can do the water walk all the way to the Zora area as well. Moon Pearl though, yeah, you go to the camper under the bridge and he's that's where your fake flipper state would end.
Yeah, it's just if you didn't have the Moon Pearl, you could choose one or the other. But now with the Moon Pearl, you can do both. And also it allows you to do some double water walk shenanigans if you see something really important there and you want to have it early. So the first few minutes are going to be a little on the slow side here. We have to go through the escape tutorial sequence. Something that I'll always love to point out is like I just admire it for its game design from vanilla because it doesn't go hold your hand too hard. It's kind of like it's a show not tell you sort of tutorial. You know, you have an optional chest that you can pick up. You know, it teaches you keys and doors. It's pretty cool when you think about it.
Yeah, anything that's going to be a little bit more interactive and hey, try this, rather than tell you, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, is good game design.
I kind of dig that because then it, like, you know, imprints what you should be doing in the game, rather than, you know, hoping that you remember.
All right, save a bomb, get to bonk the wall for the back. Wow, we're flush with money.
Ooh, we love cash. And we have lots of bombs. There's our map. And so that means we're going to have an item in the sank chest. But we did get a moon pearl out of it. You know, we can't complain about that.
This is a what, 527 escape for Timp. Not bad. Not bad for a Cash Boots start. And right behind him, Death Taxes N64 at about a 531. Not too bad.
We are loaded up on bombs now. And cash. We even have enough to do our bottle vendor and... Ooh, and that was a quick map shot.
It was quick, but I did see a red pendant at Desert, and I believe the other two were normal crystals.
Alrighty.
Yeah, don't forget the bonk rocks in a Cash Boot start.
Yes.
Timp confirming our prizes in our dungeons in the light world.
Timp doing a bonk, and fun fact, you can eat those apples for a 1 heart recovery.
And not a very often seen item. People just kind of pass by the tree.
A disappointing tree pull and crab pickup.
I did not see what that one was.
Yeah, well, Death Taxes might give us a hint. It's 10 arrows, so no thanks.
Nope. What are your thoughts on having an item on Aga? Because, like, it ensures you have to do it if it's a progression item, and so does your opponent. You kind of remove the risk of, you know, going to Aga for Dark World access, because you got to do it.
I don't know. I still get antsy because it's an extra dungeon I have to do. I want to be done with the game. It's kind of a paradoxical relationship with the game. I love this mode because it's generally faster than most modes. So it's like, I want to play the game, but I also want to be done with it sooner. So doing Aga Tower is just like, bleh. There's like 4 minutes that I could have been doing something else.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely got a positive and negative there.
It's a time sink. It's just a forced time sink that both of you have to do. So it's a net neutral when I'm thinking about it competitively, at least. It just depends. You know, you can choose to do it a little bit later if you're not completely desperate, as we get a shovel, a master sword. So speaking of Aga access, we're getting close to that with the Cane of Samaria. But yeah, it's a net neutral competitively speaking. Oh, and there's a book, so naturally now we have desert access. We are a lamp away from Dark World access to through Aga 1, because you can maybe get better.
Think about that right now. I'm banking on there's a lot more in Kakariko that's gonna stave that off.
Yeah, I suspect so. I think. I mean, the one question that you can do is like, how badly do I need the item on the the lumberjack check? Because if you can put it off, you know, we get a bottle, more money, and lots of cash.
Lots of money. That's 3 of our 300s.
Yeah, there's only 4, I believe, in the pool.
Yeah.
But you can sometimes put it off a little bit later, you know, and you have like better gear. You have like a fire rod or something to like purge some of the tankier enemies. Like that, it's like a little bit of a speed calculation. It's like, okay, how can I save like? Ooh, so we get a glove.
Ooh, okay.
Now we're really close to Dark World access.
We are inching away from Aga. And yeah, we got that bottle, so Sick Kid is here, and we also got that shovel, so. Normally, whereas you would end at the race game, Let's not forget and make sure we get that shovel spot.
Yeah, you just basically say goodbye to your save and quit at that spot. We're even starting to get a little bit healthy. We've had a couple pieces of heart picked up, and then there's a full heart pickup there. Disappointing library check. Only 20 rupees when we're flush with cash and don't need any more. We literally actually don't even need any more for the rest of the seed.
I don't think they would have picked up a 300 at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I might have because I'm just greedy. And, you know, see number go up, I smile. But it's time to dig a hole. Let's see what we get as we scare all the animals away. It's a heart container.
I'll take it. Especially this early.
Timp electing to save and quit. That's, I mean, I guess it's fine enough. Because you have a glove, you could have just ran down and lifted the rock.
A couple extra screen transitions, though, right? I mean, it's... You're going to see this is much faster.
Yeah, I haven't done really the time calculation on some of this stuff, to be honest.
Like, yeah, they both got to the swamp area, but I don't know. It may, at least it feels faster that to save and quit. I don't know if it is for sure.
All right, Timp is going to check the sunken prize first, as Death Taxes sees the Canis Samaria inside the chest inside here.
So I don't know, given that they high-fived right there, maybe it's the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But we got both canes at this point.
Off to our typical, continuing the standard casual boots start. Some runners will elect to do the anti-meta play and go to Agina first. But not this time. Both of our runners are going to Mini Moldorm.
You know, with that book, that's not a terrible idea.
I mean, for sure, actually it would make more sense than to hold off, because then you would, Tim's having a little difficulty taking out all the Mini Moldorms. You know,
that's a great idea, but not a terrible idea.
Yeah, with the book, I think I'd actually hold off on Desert so I could see to clear. Or we can get the hammer and go to the Dark World.
Yeah. Maybe Hive Cave right away? Anybody?
I think... Personally, I would finish at Ice Rod Cave and then do my water checks, because it sucks to leave those behind and then put yourself in a bad position if something was there.
Oh, I've been there. I have definitely left important things behind at Ice Rod Cave. But all those items at Hype Cave sound pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, checks per minute, it makes more sense, but... I mean, you can also... You know, we spend some of our money, and maybe we get something out of Logic that's pretty nice. Maybe we get our Titan's mitts inside the waterfall or something.
Not quite, but your logical chain ends right here. But who cares about Logic? We're going to do some water walking.
I mean, Zora itself is technically in Logic because we have our glove. We could start from the witch area and lift the rock and run around. Mm-hmm. But how about we, Timp did not remember to set their water walk state.
I don't think he was far enough to the edge.
No.
Yeah.
So swing and a miss, so we're just not gonna check it out. So we'll get some divergence, and also a check here on the, there's a powder.
So this is what we were talking about. Set up that water walk to the waterfall. Probably can take this all the way to, the Zora Ledge too. So we got our checks. Pendant Pod, Green Pendant Pod, and Pendant Swamp. Looked like Red Crystal TR and Ice Palace.
And Out of Logic Lamp for Death Taxes N64 inside the Waterfall Cave. So that's a kind of a nice thing to have. 50 rupees there, and I don't know why they're saving and quitting. They had enough money for Zora itself. And that was the one in Logic check. But okie dokie. Ooh, and there's our mitts in Hype Cave.
Mitts. Yeah, hopefully for Death Taxes N64, we don't see anything important on Zora, because that's the time to do it. Still got a lamp.
I mean, it sets him neutral with temp, aside from having the lamp to do some things. And Death Tax is gonna go pay a visit to Saha really fast. Ooh, temp takes an unfortunate death in the overworld. Those bomby boys got him. We have some health, but when everything does a base damage of 2 hearts on green male, you die very quickly, so... I think Timp is happy with the hammer, and we're gonna go to the Village of Outcasts. As is Death Tax's N64. There are ways to, you know, you can sweep up the South Dark World with, since we have the mitts, or, well, Timp has the mitts.
Yeah, he could have taken that from Hype to Stumpy to Dig Game all the way up, but hey, this works still.
Yeah, because I mean, he can do the entire Smith chain now because he has the mitts, so that might pay out nice if there's something useful on the Smith chain.
Yep.
Half Magic, though, is a nice pickup. And we already have our free blind win button in the Cane of Burna, so having Half Magic for that's also nice. Getting a nice
just by virtue of
having
those mitts, you know, Tim gets to the Dark World in Village of Outcast much quicker than going through Lost Woods. So hopefully Death Taxes gets closer to Hype Cave and gets those mitts, because, you know, without that, it's going to be, you know, kind of a time sink to go through Lost Woods for Dark World access.
I mean, in a mode that takes you roughly 90 minutes, when you start surrendering 20 seconds here and there, you can find yourself losing by 5 minutes at the end of the game. So since this is a Crystal Thieves Town and we have a hammer, we can just defeat this dungeon normally here. We have everything. We're not going to leave anything behind. We don't have to sweat the big chest.
Which may lock itself. So I never like coming in here without a hammer anyway, but I do. And hopefully when I do that, the chest locks itself. Small key being in there. One of the few places it's possible.
I believe it. I was either in this tournament or on the ladder within the last couple of days. There was a last location in a match I had where the flippers were in here and the hammer was in Hype Cave, just like it is in this seed. And yes, you needed to defeat Swamp, so that was a definite an oh no moment. I believe that's a 2-item front, because we picked up the big key and... Oh, no, only a 1-item front, because we
It was 1 item, it was just a heart container.
Oh, man, that stinks.
Well, that just means you have more to look forward to back here.
True, true. At least it's a crystal, because if it was a pendant, I would have left.
That was a nice Hellway from Timp. Right down the middle.
Hit the God Pixel. Love it when that happens.
Didn't even have to use a safety.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have tons of health, so those crickets will hurt you pretty badly if you don't handle them. Oh, how boring. Bombs is our second item here. I suspect the Smith chain might have some goodies, or it could just be pod.
Well, it's pendant pod, and if you believe in pod, there you go. That's the play. Smith chain without a mirror. That's tedious. I don't know if I would even attempt that at this point.
I would rescue the frog and take them on the tour, and then purple chest just doesn't exist. It's funny, Timp is one of our lovely hosts of the Go Mode podcast, a resource that you should definitely check out. And they were actually asking about purple chest movement today in the Learning Channel. And if you're looking to learn how to play this game, the site's actually the Discord for the Go Mode podcast. Ooh, Death Taxes takes a death. Something that I was going to say is Timp's a lovely host of the Go Mode podcast, a learning resource if you're looking to get into this game. Lots of lovely people in the Learning Channel that are happy to teach you stuff, answer your questions and all that. We've both participated in the yearly mentor tournament, Lumaga in 2020 and I in 2021.
It was a 2019 baby, actually.
Oh, you're a 2019 baby.
Yep, one of the OGs. It's going way far back. All right, we got a boss finally. We got Timp doing the dance with blind. Getting that last. Oh, just missed that last hit on the script. But that was a pretty nice first two phases. Green bottle is the prize. There's our first crystal.
Oh, I think it was the cricket that got death taxes, because again, 2 hearts, and he's already low on health, and
green
realizing that they already
the bomb did go off and did count, so unfortunate time loss there. It's okay. I didn't notice that the bomb went off in the attic either.
So I think this is actually smart on Timp's part, because they can take the Froggy on a world tour directly. Oh, they take another death taxes.
I mean, it's in the name. It's one of the guarantees.
True that. Have to imagine this is very frustrating. When you die twice in the same dungeon, I would be pretty livid.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. So you were saying that it's a good move. He had the option to take the frog, which is true, but then he wouldn't be able to do the race game. You can't do that with a visitor following you.
Fortunately, he has the mitts, so he can do both, whereas death taxes will have to choose one or the other until they get their mitts in Hype Cave. And death tax is a little frustrated, gonna be using that cane of Samari to get through this room without dying, as we get a boomerang off of the dig game.
You got a safety. You got to use it. There's no reason not to.
No shame in it. You got to get it done somehow.
All right, so Timp backtracking a little bit. Oh, he did not do Stumpy. Okay.
Oh, and the hook shot. Wowee. Okay. So we can go do the mountain out of logic, which is probably what he's targeting, because we have the mitts. We can clear both light and dark Death Mountain. That's roughly like about 20 checks, so the odds of finding something delicious up there is pretty high. And knowing we keep in mind that it is out of logic because the lamp is flipper locked.
Yeah, so you're not going to find flippers up here. You may find a flute up here, which would mean the flippers are somewhere in logic pretty much now.
Yeah, I mean, they could be anywhere. They could be in King's Tomb right now.
Yeah, could be.
Thinking of some kind of like less obvious spots that are not, in a group of checks.
Catfish.
Ooh, we speak ill of catfish. It's one of my top last location plays. He says when the last group race in this tournament had a required ice rod there.
Mm-hmm.
so
Pesky fish.
Yep. Tim's gonna investigate the left side, just to cover their bases here. He'll have to drop down and then hook shot to the other side. Nice to know that there's only trash on top of Spectacle Rock. And there's
the bow. Yeah, good way to scout this. I mean, he would have probably wound up here at the end anyway, because he can go from the bottom, use the hammer to go across the bridge, and then get this bow. But now he can start thinking of some options.
Yep.
Eastern can be done out of logic. He's got the kit for pod, which is green pendant, so there's one extra item. Although it kind of stinks to do a pendant pod all the way through.
Yeah, I would target the crystal dungeons first. We do see Death Taxes defeating Blind. Timp fails a bomb jump. They're saving and quitting. Oh yeah, you know what? It's probably faster to save and quit and then go use your hook shot across from here, since it takes a few seconds to get out of the spot. That's a really heads-up play to do. Again, you know, in this mode that's a little bit faster than others, typically speaking. You got to think of your time saves where you can save some free time. So, like Timp, Death Taxes has elected to skip picking up the frog, and
well, he can't yet. He doesn't have the mitts.
Oh yeah, that's right. If Death Tax is routing like I suspect he is, he's about to get the mitts and feel a little sad, but in Timp you have no mirror, so you cannot delete that block. You're gonna have to go the normal way.
Yeah. Probably felt a little silly, but that's okay. You'll just go on the bottom or the top, whichever this is.
Alright, looks like Death Taxes is making that beeline for Hype Cave to get the news. As we get a tempered sword from the two-chest portion of the Paradox Cave.
There's mitts for Death Taxes.
And the Spectacle Rock 5 is going to have those flippers for temp, so that's going to tell us that the flute is somewhere very accessible and we've both missed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so somewhere, maybe on the east side of the Dark World, maybe on the pyramid, where Death Taxes may be going, is the flute. Yeah, here's a pyramid check.
There we go. Second try, Tim gets the bomb jump across. We can investigate what's on the ledge here. Just a piece of heart, though, on the pyramid ledge. Will he go to pod, or is he going to check catfish? That tends to be the two things to do here.
Well, so here's my thought on him going to catfish, is that, you know, he took 2 deaths, and, you know, people are going to skip catfish. So if there's something here that Timp misses, you know, Death Taxes pulls ahead a bit.
Yeah,
or at least catches up a little bit.
Right. You have to start playing a little bit risky when you're behind.
Sure.
Because if you just go where your opponent's already been, you know, you're never going to make up time unless you're an execution god. And we get a big key out of the first check of Hera here. Just 10 bombs from our lovely catfish.
Save and quit. This might be a mountain play as well. Starting at sync.
Timp showing off some vintage tech here with the hook speed version of a Herapot.
I still can't do that. I stick to the tried and true.
I never learned it. I started with Philly Pot, and then as we get, I believe that's both items here in Hera. Yeah. No, it isn't. Okay.
No, we just got the one.
I learned Philly Pot, and then I learned Raiden Pot. I didn't really learn the Bread Coon Pot.
Bread really Pot is free. It's amazing. I never learned Raiden Pot either. Heck, I still used pause buffers until like a month ago. Lots of different ways to do that trick.
Oh yeah. there's a nice quick kill for Timp at Moldorm, and that will give us... Oh, of course! It's a small key. And this is interesting because he has no fire source, whereas Death Tax N64 does. So Timp cannot check the Hera basement, but Death Taxes can. And probably should check, because again, they are in a position of disadvantage, and need to find something that Timp does not have access to. Otherwise, this is not going to go well for him.
So it looks like Timp's gonna. He's still got stuff on the mountain. He's got Spiral here. Then he's got Dark Death Mountain as well. So Super Bunny, Hookshot Cave, and then check the at least the medallion requirement for TR. And who knows? Maybe Fire Rod somewhere up here. Goes back and checks the basement himself.
Yeah. What we are looking for to end the game is some sort of medallion, at least one or two of them. We need both rods, and...
Need a flute.
Yeah, that's about it.
Flute for Misery Mire.
Timp electing to go from the southern entrance of the Dark Death Mountain, rather than opening up the TR portal and on the first go-round, even though, I mean, you don't have any medallions, but... I like opening the portal anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess since you don't have any, yes, you get the portal, but it's like, okay, what am I going to do here? I can't open the thing. Ooh, Butter Sword already.
Yeah, we're turning this into a pretty cozy seed in terms of combat difficulty. That Butter Sword obliterates most bosses.
All right, Death Taxes finds the flippers. Timp gets the other boomerang. We'll trip through Hookshot Cave. One of the rods.
I like finding that one first.
Yeah.
Ice Rod hunts stink. That's a bad way to lose. And Timp gonna get the information about TR here. We need the Quake medallion for Turtle Rock.
He's still got the Spike Cave. So he's got half magic, bottles, Burna. So he's got plenty of magic to get through that.
Yeah, this is a wise thing to do. It's a bit of a time investment, but, not isolating checks when you're playing well and feel like you've routed pretty lean and correctly. Is a good way to cover your bases when you feel that you can invest, 25 seconds here and there.
I'm noticing the tracker. We found all 4 bottles already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Aw, just a piece of heart. That Spike. Because we're going to see Death Taxes now make their journey through Hera. No, you cannot hookshot the big key, unfortunately.
Seems like you should be able to.
I guess it's just the big key is so massive, it's the size of the sprite, it's like a 6-foot-tall key. So the hookshot's not going to work for that.
do you think Link, lugs it up the stairs as he's trying to climb the tower or something?
Since he has clearly a bag of holding because of... Think about all the stuff in the inventory that would be physically impossible to carry around. Like, you're going to carry around a hammer, a bow, a shovel, a set of flippers, all of those canes, Because it doesn't look like those, like the Ice Rod, the Fire Rod, they don't look like just like a little magic wand or anything like that. They appear to be full-size stabs.
Yep.
Eventually you're gonna run out of space on your body to carry everything, right?
You need some kind of a squire to accompany you. Or a caddy, like a golf caddy.
Yes.
Carry all my stuff for me. All right, we got the Eastern stuff. Saha didn't seem like he had anything, and instead of Eastern, we're starting at the Dark World.
That's interesting, because this is a pendant, and Eastern is a crystal, and Timp does not have a mirror yet to be able to combo the play.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's comfortable with dark rooms to do this. Death Tax is with the second crystal. Very nice Moldorm fight.
I mean, this is fine to do. I mean, I would love to get my crystal first because I'm an ABCD kind of player, but which is always be clearing crystal dungeons. But
well,
when
that's one mantra. The other mantra is pendant pod is the play, and we know flute's around here somewhere.
right, and I mean, we are still missing the fire rod, as well as medallion or medallions, plural. Well, we might be missing a medallion for this is fine because there are 5 checks here. So
Yeah, and that's why people dip this even when it's a pendant. I mean, you spend a little bit of time getting the keys up front. Count your keys, by the way. There's at least 4. There could be 6 up front, and you know all those items in the back, plus the green pendant could have something.
that is very true. That's probably is swaying his decision because after he's done with Pod, he can save and quit, run from Link's house, and turn in the green pendant before going into.
Yeah. Okay.
Eastern
So
Palace.
now it makes sense. Now it makes sense why he did this first.
It's just that you are committing to fully clearing Pod,
Yeah.
no matter what you find here, unless you literally hit go mode.
Unlikely, but good luck. So interesting. He found key in the first door, went to the right side, or in the first chest in the basement, shooter room, went to the right side. Most people would normally spend that key and go up the middle.
Yeah, to this bridge chest where he's bonking backwards to, because there is a key there, and we're gonna investigate the vanilla big key chest and then the drop down, and then we'll have to go back to the start.
All right, Death Tax is doing the Dark Death Mountain, about to pick up his ice rod, required ice rod.
So yeah, as of right now, Death Tax is a few minutes behind, based mostly on those deaths in Thieves Town.
So where could Death Taxes go other than Pod to kind of shake this up? He's got the flippers. He's got no mirror, so no swamp. No one's done Skull Woods yet.
Yeah,
Ice Palace is not a possibility. No fire.
yeah. I mean, it would have been Skullwoods, but both of our runners did not decide to do the big dunk of 50,000 seed spreadsheet play. So Skullwoods is going to be quite a while until that's seen. And that's a reference for immediately defeating Skullwoods, or while going into Skullwoods when you first get access to the Dark World from the Kakariko portal.
Skull Woods is practically overworld. It's not. It's a dungeon, but you know, it's right there. The chests are right there, and right there is our flute.
Jackpot.
So now we're snap back into logic.
So we needed that flute, so Pod is required. And there's a shield in the dark. And if Tim can find it, oh, a small key in the dark.
The Death Taxes going to Eastern. At least he's
Yeah,
headed
that's
that way.
fine.
Yeah, here we go. No, that is good. Who knows? Maybe the flute is the only thing in Pod, and yeah, we're gonna
forgot key
save a
for
bunch
a
of
key
time
here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you got to count your keys.
It's very easy to do that. That and the vanilla big key chest in the middle.
I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful because they are low on health, and those Dodongos in their fire is quite annoying. And we are on green mail, by the way. And there's a cape in one of the checks there in the dark.
We haven't seen Bumper Ledge.
And Death Taxes, by the way, will be able to do this quite easily without any real struggles because they will have the lamp and be able to see what they're doing.
Yep. Timp's got to be a little careful.
Timp is also a loss because he got bopped by a Dodongo.
Oh,
There he
yes,
goes.
there he
fixed
goes.
it. We fixed it. We're good.
That's our Turtle Rock Medallion in Eastern.
Okay, so both are required. Timp is pretty set for a death warp, by the way. Oh, and the fire rod. Jeez Louise.
Ooh. Okay, so yeah, at this point, he decides he's not going to finish out this dungeon.
I'm a little surprised because with that fire rod, you could light the torch with the fire rod and just be able to take out the turtles that way.
So I'm not that surprised because, well, okay, so he doesn't have a medallion. I was going to suggest, Meyer's on the table. What is it? We just opened up Skull Woods with the fire rod. He's got Ice Palaces here, so I'm not that surprised.
That's true. Yeah. So Ice Palace, then Eastern, and Timp's got the required items. So Timp just needs to get the Quake Medallion in Eastern Palace, so he'll stumble into that. And then we need to find out whenever Timp decides to activate their flute, or if Death Taxes activates their flute first and we see the Mire area, what do we need to get into Mire? Because we have the cane and a fire source to defeat that dungeon too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just a medallion for Timp at this point. And for all we know, after Eastern Palace, he could be in go mode.
Yeah, we just have to figure out the Mire medallion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the odds. When you're at 33%, that's more. I would flute to the Mire area just to get the knowledge.
Yeah, most people, when they save and quit after finding the flute, go activate that immediately. Whether or not they go to flute to 6, fine, but you usually get that, because once he's done with ice, well, he can't flute out of there. He doesn't have a mirror, so...
Yeah, I guess that was his probably his thought process. Like, I can easily get to Ice Palace and then go activate my flute. Nice icebreaker play there. I
didn't see anything else in Eastern Palace yet, or anything else noteworthy.
Yeah. So yeah, Death Taxes is gonna have to go to pod at some point. 2 required items are big chillin' there. He'll be able to do it quicker than Timp because he has the lamp already. I suspect Timp is probably never gonna get that lamp.
Unlikely. Ooh.
Oh, and there's the mirror. So, and that's nice to have.
It's nice to have. It's not required this seed. Certainly nice to have. Now, Death Taxes may very well go straight down into the 5 portal, head right back up into pod. He's making a liar out of me.
So let's see where they choose to go next. Going for Princess Kissies, not Old Man Kissies. We're gonna investigate
This is King's Tomb. Orphan and Graveyard Ledge by doing this.
Yeah.
And when you just picked up the mirror, might have been a better play to do Dark World, check Bumper Ledge, and then do Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb. He's got flippers. He could. Oh, he's already done Catfish. I was gonna say go all the way to Catfish.
Looks like they're headed to
Is this where he realizes he didn't do Zora?
He's going shopping. But this must be a Zora play. Yeah, he's gonna go lift the rock.
The only thing that could really help him out here is if it's a medallion for Misery Mire.
Right, yeah. I mean,
Maybe silvers.
Silvers are nice to have, but time-wise, we're beyond a silverless versus silvers fight on Ganon difference. We see some money chilling there, which I think we knew about, but this is the big spendy check here. As Timp is going to go into a cold stare fight. Timp went to the refill room because they are on green mail, so these cold stare will hurt like crazy if they get hit. Although
yeah, gold sword's great, but you're a glass cannon at that point.
Got 2 of them down. All 3 of them down. Very nicely done.
Zora, unsurprisingly, was a scam.
So we're going to see Death Taxes move on into the Dark World here. Let's see where they end up going. I suspect Timp will activate their flute and go check out the Mire area and determine if they're in go mode. Well, they don't know about Eastern yet. They're probably going to go to Eastern first. Just kidding.
So here's the pod play.
Yeah, this is going to put...
Oh, you got this guy first.
Oh, yeah, they didn't check the camper, like... Or I thought they did.
Nobody did. No, because remember, Death Taxes set up a water walk, found the powder on Hylia Island, went to the waterfall. That's where he found that lamp.
Just 50 rupees, though, and a second shield for Timp. Yeah, I'm not really sure where... Oh, he's going to activate the flute. Okay. Then we can go to Eastern Palace. I mean, you could have saved and quit. Well, then you could flute to 5 and go up that way. That's true.
Interesting they both orphaned Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, that's...
Especially since Timp has the Fire Rod, could have gone to Skull Woods. He's got the cape, could have checked Bumper Ledge, and then gone east.
That's true. Timp can also take care of Skull Woods right now, too. Timp's got to be thinking about clearing dungeons. Because they have quite a few available to them. Looks like they're going to select Mire? Or we're going to get Mire information now. So Timp will find out if we're in no mode or not.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Timp. You're a real pal for doing this. No,
well, it's Ether, so we are in NO mode.
We are. Nope.
Nope mode, yeah. No, we gotta find that Ether. We know that the Quake Medallion is in Eastern.
Hey!
Oh my God. Right under the doormat.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So, Timp probably knows his dark Mire.
I think he does. He's a veteran at this game, so I would imagine at some point in the last few years he's practiced it once.
Yeah, so you get through Dark Mire. I suspect we will... Timp is... Oh, he opened it, but didn't go in.
Okay, I'm going to add that to the list of questions.
Yeah, there are a few questions we're going to have about...
That's wild.
Yeah.
He's got everything he can do. He's got Samaria. He's got Boots and Hook. He can get in there.
Oh, I think he wants to go shopping.
Okay.
And then maybe after doing some shopping. Yeah, so he's gonna
I don't get it though. He had a red and a green.
I think he wants like 4 blues, literally. He's taking no chances, is what this looks like. Or he wants
hey,
like
big spender.
Yeah. Ooh. Gonna go to the Louis Vuitton store with that kind of rupee count, you know?
That is some craft bottles right there. You know, that's the good stuff.
Oh yeah. Where are we going? We're going to Agina, but
dude, okay, Timp, buddy, I love you, but buddy,
I'm just not sure what we're doing here when we have, count on 1, 2, 3 dungeons available. Really, 4.
You'll get 4 as soon as you get to Quake Medallion.
Yeah.
And Death Taxes falls prey to Key for a Key.
Also, why are we leaving instead of saving and quitting? That is, like, statistically slower. And...
He's doing desert. Wait a minute.
But why?
Has he mistracked something on his personal tracker?
You're asking a wonderful question. I'd better open up the race room and take a gander at their stream.
You know, I remember somebody who mismarked a dungeon once.
You mean they mismarked 2 dungeons?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
And it was in the Challenge Cup of 2022.
It was. I was watching, and it was great. It wasn't great for that person, but...
Losing in a very embarrassing fashion, and it cost them from sweeping their group 6-0.
You know, take pride in the fact that you went 5-1. It's okay.
And hey, you know what? What that also did meant I ended up facing the runner that I faced in the bracket phase, and I promptly got swept and was very angry about it. And in response to that and wanting to play more tournament, I made one. This tournament. So there it is, the origin story of the Casual Boots Tournament. You can thank Ascend from the German community for the Casual Boots Tournament, because I was so tilted about losing in the Challenge Cup that I decided to make my own freaking, well, with the help of Aaron and Doc. I mean, I couldn't have done this without them in last year.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Timp and I were both in that group with you.
Yeah, that was a wild group.
Little reunion here. Somebody call Yonker's wife and, you know, see if she can join us.
We can have a little party. Yonker's wife is a mod this year in this tournament, stepping up and helping out. Timp is gonna find their TR medallion and feel like a big fool.
Well, okay. Hey, if anything, this has given Death and Taxes some free time. And, you know, this is not go mode. He's still got to get the fire rod. Wait, why didn't he get the fire rod? He was just in pod. What happened? We were here ragging on Timp and ragging on Josh. We missed all of what happened in Death Taxes N64 stream. He must have got it. Although our tracker's been pretty good, so I will take his word for it. Nope, I just saw it on the quick swap. He's got the fire rod. That is go mode for Death Taxes N64, finding that Ether medallion.
Oh, geez. So... this might be pretty tight.
Yeah, despite the deaths in Thievestown early, you know, this is a race. And credit to Death Taxes persevering and persisting here.
And as a reminder for the implications of this race, Death Taxes needs this win in order to stay alive in the group, because they need to force their way to 3-3. As Timp is going to get their go mode. But will Timp realize that he's in go mode is another question.
But yeah, Death Taxes needs to get this win for 3-3. What's the scenario for Timp? He needs this one to secure brackets?
No, so Timp is 2-2 right now. And they need, because the way this is so far is, Tedo has played 3 races and they're 3-0. In second place is B. Bonnell, and they are done, and they have a 3-3 record. And Timp is at 2-2, and then Death Taxes is an 0-3. So Death Taxes needs to defeat Timp tonight, and then keep winning to force a 3-3 tie with B. Bonnell. And Timp needs this win to get into that tie with Beebanel and preferably win their last match to go 4-2 and secure their way into the bracket round. But their other match is against Teto, and Teto is a very good runner.
Yeah, Teto is not someone you take lightly.
And Timp's going to lose a little time in some of these dungeons because he does not have the lamp that Death Tax has picked up from the waterfall cave. So instead of messing about in the dark room of Mire, Timp is going to have to do that in the dark. And that will be slower.
Yeah, what a turn. Yeah, because this room is trivial here with the lantern.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they did not go into Mire and beat it when they had the chance to. You just kind of in that position, you have to be like, I'm probably never seeing the lamp. I was supposed to have it already. Goodbye, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the time to do Mire. They went into Desert, which is awkward. I don't know, it's things like that where you give away 90 seconds here.
90 seconds is huge in a Kaz Boot seed.
So it looks like we're going to defeat Skullwoods next on Timp's side. I wonder if they're kind of hoping to stumble into the lamp before doing Mire.
Yeah. Especially on green mail, because, you know, if he does find a blue mail, it makes Mire and Vitreous a lot more palatable, but even still, Death Taxes just tore up those eyeballs.
Yeah, when you have the gold sword, it's time neutral to dash through them versus doing the NMG style spin strats with the cape. So most runners will elect to dash through the eyeballs instead.
All right, fourth crystal for Death Taxes N64 in go mode. I suspect we'll probably see like Ice Palace into Skullwoods into TR at this point.
Yeah. Looks like they are selecting Ice Palace first. If you want to get really technical about saving a few seconds, it would have been better to do Mire first. Because with the save and quits involved, you know, like with leaving Ice Palace, you're basically forced to save and quit. Because there are no good exits out of the zone.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Mirror, he's got Flute, so even after he's done with Ice Palace, he can Flute to 3 and do Skull and be done with it.
I'm having a little bit of trouble with the spikes blocking all of his fire rod shots.
Oh, jeez.
And having some NA aim problems, too. There we go. Yeah, to answer chat, Temp opened Mire, but then curiously did not go in it. I suspect they will go in it now. They have 2 dungeons to go.
Yeah, I don't know. What is this? Okay, I thought he was going to do a ped check, and I'm like, Timp, no, please don't. So, okay, so here's the Mire. Here's the Mire play.
Yeah, I mean, forced to now. I wonder if they were trying to avoid the, if they were trying to avoid the Dark Mire play, if they're not confident in it or something. That would be my guess.
That's got to be it. I mean, Dark Mire is one that pops up, you know, uncommonly enough where, you know, it's worth the practice, or at least have the tactic, or at minimum, you know, you're allowed to have the dark room maps up on your monitor, so that's okay. But getting the feel for that that room is kind of tricky, even if you have a map.
So I'm having a little bit of difficulty in the Mire 2 room. This is kind of a room that can get away from you and take a long time to get through if you don't clear it quickly. I believe we had a God Mire, so he'll be able to get to the back quickly. But yeah, we're just gonna see, it's basically Timp finishing Mire versus Death Taxes finishing Skullwoods.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to put Death Taxes in the lead.
Yeah, because you don't even have to do really any of Skullwoods except for the back. I mean, it's not even putting him in the lead. He's in the lead now. Mire's, you know, considerably longer, and he's got Dark Mire, which I don't know. Now I'm doubting that he's confident in.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of unfortunate. We're still looking for that big key. I think it's here.
I believe so. Yeah, because you just go right and go up. No,
or we go
you go
right and right.
Here. Okay.
But he burned the key, so he can't go that way. He has to go this way, but if he burned the key...
yeah, he can't use the key up here. Did he not get the one under the pot? He did not. Okay.
Interesting. Most runners do that. To answer chat, who will be in the lead is who finishes the dungeon that they're in first. Because both need to finish the dungeon that they're in and then get their butt up to Turtle Rock and defeat that.
Turtle Rock does have a dark room, but the pattern to get through it is easy enough where you should be okay with it. Here's Timp's attempt at the Mire dark room.
We're having some technical difficulties on it. I think. Nope,
that should be it, right? Nope.
There we go.
Yeah, if you go straight down, move over to the right in front of the door, and toss it up, it'll land every time.
Yeah, you can yeet the block and then it'll be in the place for you. Timp trying to preserve some health is going to use the cane to get through some of the spike damage here. But yeah, I would have to say now Death Taxes is going to be in the lead unless they take a death here at Moth. Because this is where I was...
Don't spin.
Yeah, this is
he
what
was
I was
charging up
alluding
that.
to.
Go ahead.
This is what I was alluding to earlier about Temp going to have more difficulty in the dark rooms. He's not high enough. The blocks, the Samaria little waves will disappear off the screen and not count for hitting the... There you go. You have to be high enough to see... You have to see the crystal to hit it with the Samaria block to get credit for it. So yeah, Timp is gonna be behind. Probably would be prudent if he healed as well, because we were low on health. And he got hit by the, using Oko mode on some of these enemies here that are dropping down, so...
And yeah, and he's got to dodge the fire bar and a fairy. Oh boy. Whew.
Yeah, now realizing, hey, maybe I should heal up. Although, forgetting that he has a cape.
Yeah, he could cheese this fight easily.
So this is gonna put Temp further behind. I mean, this is still within GT routing, but and we're also forgetting that we have a bow.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I think Temp's feeling a little bit of mom's spaghetti right now.
I don't understand what you mean by that, but he just does get the crystal.
Feeling the pressure, you know. I'm referring to, you know, the Eminem song, "Is Yourself." Yeah. Which, it's funny because it's like the only Eminem song that can be played on in an arena because it has no swears, and it's also a pump-up anthem.
Sure.
So they're like, oh cool, we can be hip and well, and now that song's like 20 years old. It's pretty much right up there with like Enter Sandman as a song for a sporting event. But yeah, Temp is going to be a mountain climb and probably be about a half of a TR behind when they get into the dungeon, and they're going this way when they still need to activate the pole.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't activate this earlier. Oh, he didn't have the quick medallion, but he didn't even bother to open up the portal, which would have been faster at this point.
Yeah, so he's going to be a little bit surprised in a couple of seconds when it's time to he's going to be surprised in a second when he sees the Turtle Rock mouth closed. Like, huh? Oh, Shinmaru, you are a savage in the chat. Gonna start like DMing him like old Go Mode podcast episodes. Like, wow, that's so toxic.
Here's how you route Turtle Rock in Go Mode. No, don't do that.
No.
So here he goes. He's about to open this up. You know, for as much as we were saying, oh, Timp is behind, Death Tax's N64 is not that much far ahead.
He died,
he took a death.
So...
Yeah. So let's keep this real. This is a race. This is not someone is out.
That is really unfortunate. So now Timp is only going to be about 10 seconds behind as we see the rage slashes from... Oh, well, not 10 seconds behind because they've done the front 3 chests that Timp has to do. So Timp went from being about 4 minutes behind to about 45 seconds.
I think the best way to do it would be when does he grab the chest? So the chain jump chest for each of them.
Right, yeah. So
107.29 is what I got.
Yeah. And successfully avoids being eaten by the chomps this time.
Yeah, it's tough on green mail.
Timp, what you doing, bud? You should be dashing right now, not walking. There we go. We got our key. If you're mirroring, you didn't need to pick up the small magic pot because you're going to get a full mana pot here.
I had to break myself of that habit.
It's the correct routing, by the way, for doing this because you'll just mirror and pick up this chest. I've read that it's about
It's a few seconds faster.
We are. I think we saw the big. Did we get the big key? Because if Death Tax is a skipping lava chest and that had the big key.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
it was in the
jump
chest. Thank goodness. I was about to say, like, you're going to be very disappointed in a couple of seconds. But they are electing to go through the full way through, even despite being in go mode. Most runners will skip the big chest, but it could be a way to get a second small key and skip Laser Bridge.
So that is a minute 24. Timp is behind. That's GT routing. That's the climb. That's a Ganon fight.
That's a death. We are on green mail, so all of these enemies now will hurt pretty hard. Like the Pokies will do 4 hearts of damage. That Broly spike will hurt you, and they just put himself in a pretty vulnerable spot, but got out of it. Temp bunny beamed. Yeah, chat pointing out that that dip into desert's probably gonna be pretty serious on Temp's conscience coming up.
Now, death tax is 64, and Timp. Neither one of them got the big chest. Okay, so they're both banking on there being a key down here.
Yeah, that would be prudent. Because you should get one. There it is.
You should. There's a chance that there's not.
Now, Death Taxes does have to be a little bit careful because they are on low health. They have no way to powder an anti-fairy.
Doesn't he have like 3 bottles?
They do, yes. They just have to remember to use them.
Yeah.
Or you can die by getting hit by the pokey. And
no safety door. Oh, okay. Chet did say he did get the big chest. So he starts here. He doesn't start all the way at the beginning.
So
but
suddenly,
this is how it swings.
Now, Timp needs to be careful because they're lost in the... There they go. Now they're through. If Timp's prudent, he'll probably use his red goo here to heal up. Also, neither of our runners have checked their stun prize. What if it's fairies?
Jeez. Okay, Timp taking the safety door, which not a bad idea.
Yeah, but they're probably going to check the bottom chest first, so they're going to waste a little time.
Okay, man, wild swings in this.
Yeah, see, Timp just got shot, so they're going to lose about 7 seconds waiting for the game over screen to go through. So now Death Taxes is back in the lead. You can use your thing. There you go, buddy. Are we going to have enough mana to open the last one?
He's got this, yeah.
There we go.
All right, from the time Death Taxes enters the door at 03. Ooh. Taking a little caution here. Instead of going for the fire, he went straight for the ice. And he's on gold sword, so it's not like he had to kill the ice first. It's usually a hammer strat.
Timp's going to be about 30 seconds behind, but if they play their cards right with this fight, they're going to be, you know, cutting quite a bit of time off here. See, 1, 2, 3. You already switched to the fire rod head. 1, 2. Oh my goodness. Death Tax is dying again, which is going to put Timp back in the lead.
And that's not a safety door either. Shoot.
Nope, they're going to have to go through the middle again. And Timp successfully takes down Trinex on the first try. This is... What a conclusion we're running towards. I don't know. I guess they were... Death Taxes was afraid of the ice floor physics. But realistically...
Buttersword takes 3 swings. It's
I was going to say... For all of you newer runners out there listening to this, you should probably pop into the practice hack and practice with the butter sword, hitting the ice head with the fire rod and immediately quick swapping while you do your 3 sword swings, so you have your fire rod ready for the fight on the second head. So Timp is going to enter, let's see when he enters here, eventually into GT.
Just north of 114. Oh, 05.
Yeah. So
I think Timp is a hope lefter.
Let's see if we get a small key here. We don't, so...
He's got to be a hope lifter anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a modified DM route of some sort, but that's pretty cursed when you've already done Hope Room.
He could have done Tile Room. That was open.
I mean, if you want to go Giga Pepega, sure, but...
Yeah, full-on cursed.
the worst, the most head-scratching play possible. I mean, we might see Death Taxes do that as a desperation play, knowing that they have had some pretty rough deaths that have cost them some serious time.
When you're fighting for a playoff spot and you think you're coming from behind, and for a while Death Taxes was, I don't know, maybe you just go for broke. I don't think he'll do it, though.
You never know with a cornered animal, right?
I really don't think I would see him do that.
Timp getting those unintentional sweet hook dodges of the spike. And gets through. Alright, so Death Taxes is going to be about like 1:45 behind, all said and done. And we're going to have a pretty forced path in the front of the GT basement here.
Unless Death Taxes does Stalfos right.
Yeah, I mean,
that would change it up. No. Okay, so they're gonna follow each other. Unless there's the Tile Room play. We can still hold out for that one.
Probably looking at... I wonder if it's going to be just right here in Rando Room. Nope.
I think that was chest 13. We're not playing a game, but I'd just like to count along anyway.
Yeah, just to see how far we've gone in. Just fluffing our item count, you know.
Timp has done enough fluffing for one game.
Yes. they're gonna win. They could potentially win the race and the collection rate game. Which, I mean, you know, they don't ask you how you win, but if you won. But when you see that, you're just like, ooh, uh-oh.
What happened?
Yeah. Hey, there's our big key, so it's time to go. So it's, call it about like 1:17:17 is when he got the big key.
Sounds right.
So, yeah, Death Taxes is definitely not favored right now. They have to make up a couple minutes somehow, and pure execution at this point. Setting up kind of a more vintage, you know, Mimic 1. Being careful.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not familiar with Death Taxes routing, or not routing, execution on the climb. So, you know, if he does some of the NMG or some of the more optimal strats, or is a little bit more aggressive, you could see this race tighten up.
Yeah.
So that's about a minute, right? A minute and 3 seconds.
Oh, he mirrored and he's going right.
Oh, no. Where did he stop? Where did he stop?
I think... Oh, is he a rando rusher? I think he stopped at Rando Room.
That's not the time for this. Because it's going to be last chest
he ran.
run.
Our tracker, big ups to Jestra Zooks for tracking. Yeah, our tracker confirming he rando rushed. So, to all you kids out there, don't rando rush. This is the Giga punishment. Because it's the very next chest.
Well, I don't know. There's no right. Like correct GT routing.
I'm half memeing at this point with my distaste as Timp's gonna have to be careful about health now because they are.
Yeah.
they are ramming into the spike repeatedly and getting shot by laser eyes. Using a red goo because their their mana was full, but they still have one more blue goo. So, but little does Timp know they are getting all sorts of free time right now. Because there's one check that Death Taxes cannot really easily access, and that is Bob's chest. Oh wait, no, they're going to be able to get there. That's true.
Yeah, actually, I messed up the GT map in my head. So yeah,
Me too.
They're going to get it. A little bit longer, but they'll get it. So what was it? 117-17 or something like that?
Yeah. Well, Tim's having some trouble with these climb rooms, so if although I think
just go for it, Death. There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say Death Tax is having a little confidence issues. Because we don't have our powder, and Timp is going to have to be very careful.
Yeah, Timp might... No, he's not going to burn a bottle. He could get the full magic up here.
Yep. The next room has it. Because Timp has no lamp, by the way. So, Timp is going to be okay because they have one blue goo and a fire rod for fighting Ganon with when it comes to phase 4. They may, though, miss the torch glitch, though. It's easier to get with the lamp than the fire rod.
It's true. Although, if he does triples, you know, he'll be fine.
Right. You just gotta go for it, Timp. You can use your sword, you can...
You can dash.
Yep, we don't have to back into a corner, but that's one way to do it.
That's usually the opening move for Moldorm 2 is line them up in the middle, dash right through them.
Timp checking the last chest available, seeing if there were some savior silvers there, but not this time. As Death Taxes begins their climb, they have visited the recovery room, healing up and getting some mana. As Timp goes to Aga 2. It appears our stun prize, by the way, with small manas, so we could have, you know, been much more aggressive with mana throughout the seed.
Yeah, especially on this climb. Like, the Stalfos don't have a burn animation, so you can just fire rod them and they die instantly. And then you pick up mana in the next room. Either way, we got the wizard down.
Wizard down for Timp as we're going to see Death Taxes go into the Landmos 2 fight. So with half magic and a fire rod, as Shinru is pointing out, I think we have enough mana for Timp to even do doubles. Just don't get the Jello hands and just tap in the 3-foot putt and call it a seed, you know?
Just tap it in.
Back when I used to play golf, you know, but I would always know, though, putting is where you add lots of strokes to your game if you're a bad golfer like I was. A 300-yard drive and a 2-foot putt count for 1 stroke, all the same. And Tip's already in phase 3 because the Butter Sword just pulverizes phase 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a freebie. And yeah, I think he still has his blue bottle, doesn't he? In case he's like running low on magic, or maybe he takes a hug from Ganon.
Swamp Palace silver arrows, no thanks. Okay, nope. He gets the torch glitch. All right,
he's got to do 12 of these, right?
Yep, 12 it is. Ooh, that was dangerous. You do have to be a little careful and not get hugged and then knocked off the platform.
I like the aggression, though. He knows what's on the line.
Yep, even just doing doubles, this is fine. We have tons of mana. You know, just don't take damage, because Ganon will do, like, 8 hearts. Because we are on green mail.
Yeah, I wonder where their mails were.
And folks, get your GGs in for Timp, because they are about to cross the bridge and take the big W here that they need to get into a tie for second place in their group. And unfortunately, this will knock out Death Tax's N64 from bracket contention. And Timp will take the W with a 125.15 according to SpeedGaming.
We will see if we can get Timp in for an interview. Might hold off a second as Death Taxes is also about to finish up.
Yeah, they're at AGA 2, so they may elect to finish this out. And the first thing that we can do is grill Timp on why the heck did you go into Desert Palace?
I think before that, why the heck did you start the race before anybody was ready to on SpeedGaming? It caused a little bit of a rush for us.
Yeah, a little unfortunate, but we got it together in time.
Oh, yeah.
You see Timp in the setup channel, so he'll be here in a second. As Death Tax's N64 is going to drop down into Ganon.
All right, so the 1-on-1 is free with the gold sword.
Death Taxes does have the cape out, just to spam sword slices. That's kind of enough, bud. You don't have to do any more. We're good. Guess
Yeah,
we're just taking. I think this is just taking out some aggression.
Yeah, Ganon's kind of a punching bag at some point. You can't do any more damage to him.
Willful malevolence. That's okay. On to phase 4, just like that. Did you find the silver arrows in Swamp Palace? No. Why would I go in there?
So you can show off Specky Clip.
Yeah, that's right. I've had 5 matches in this tournament so far, and I've only been able to do Specky Clip once. So that's cool.
So much for allowing it.
Right? And I also, because I participated in the Vanilla NMG League, the last season was the Vanilla preset, I even learned Diver Down for the back, so with Specky Clip, if you defeat the dungeon first and then go back for the left side swamp, Diver Down and just doing the key strat is time neutral, so for me being incredibly lazy about learning Diver Down, as get your G's in for Death Tax's N64 as they're going to be finishing up here. I haven't learned left side Diver Down with the bombs, but I did learn it for the back.
Cool.
But yeah, so it's time neutral, and Death Taxes finishes with a 128.44. Get your GG's in. What a race.
Let's get these two up here. Let's see. We should get Death Taxes in just a moment. I think Timp is patiently waiting for us.
We'll see if
we have our winner. of tonight's match, Timp. GG's Timp.
Thank you very much, Lumaga. Good to be talking with you.
Hi, Timp. We have some questions for you.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, I hope I can answer them.
So, you opened up Misery Mire, and then you didn't go in.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reason for that?
I'm bad. I was scared.
Was it the dark room?
The dark room specifically, exactly, yeah. I was just thinking about it, and I was like, green mail, no lamp, some hearts, but like, you know how fast they go in the dark world. And I was like, you know what? There's other stuff I can do that is productive towards getting 7 crystals, and some other checks I can get along the way to doing that too. So I'm just going to go do that and hope that I, get the lamp or some safeties that will help me feel a little bit better. And I also stopped by Potion, the Witch's Hut, so that made me feel a lot better too.
So then follow-up question, why did you go into desert?
I was just looking for stuff. Is that allowed? Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, you just had 3 other crystals you could have done instead at the time.
I guess it was like, I was in Mire. Of course, I know I didn't have the mirror, but like I was doing that part of the map, so I was just sort of localized there, I guess.
You tunnel visioned on that part of the map.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
We're just giving you a hard time.
Oh, I know. All good.
You actually did cause, or not you didn't cause, but you were going back and forth with Death Taxes N64. Part of it was the fluffing, looking for a lamp or some safeties. He took a couple of unfortunate deaths. But man, this was actually really tight and really suspenseful
that's awesome.
at several points.
And by the way, you were never going to get that lamp because it was in the Waterfall Ferry.
Okay.
And we are joined by Death Taxes N64. Oh, they are continuing to set up. They dropped from the call. I wonder what happened.
We'll get them back.
Yeah.
Oh,
there they are. Re-adding. They must have misclicked. But yeah, and we are actually joined now by Death Taxes N64. GG's, that was a very tight race.
Yeah, GG's, man.
GG's. I'm excited to watch that one back. I just heard from the commentators that it was kind of back and forth the whole time, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, I think that was our first game too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean there were some divergences like right off the top because Death Taxes, you got your water walk and went to the waterfall cave and got your lamp, and that kind of gave you some things to do that Timp could not easily do. With that lamp in logic. Just trying to think some of the other stuff too.
Overall, I just want to say that I was really happy with my execution, just how I played in general, being on green mail and having no lamp. I mean, I was shaking in my boots the whole time. I was shaking in my casual boots, and I took a couple deaths in there, but none of them were too punishing. And I was honestly, I mean, I dropped some stuff for sure. I couldn't do a bomb jump to save my life in the seed for some reason. There was another simple glitch that I messed up, and I took a death in Dark World really early on. So it had its flaws, but overall I felt really proud of the way that I played, and was able to keep it together through all those dark rooms with green mail.
Yeah, you did show a lot of good things. So I believe you are now 3-2, still hanging on for a bracket position, right?
Yeah, so the situation I think is I've got one more race in my group against Tedo, and I don't know like the diplomatic way to say this, but Tedo is an extremely good player, and even when I play my best and they play their worst, they just have the edge with the amount of experience they have with the game and their level of execution. So let's just say I'm not optimistic about the outcome. I'm going to give it all I got, but what it's probably going to happen is I'm going to end up being 3-3, and then I believe Bonnell's got all their races done, and Death, I think you maybe have one more with Teto, something like that. But there's a chance that it's going to end up Teto 6-0, myself and Bonnell 3-3, and then having to do a tiebreaker for that second bracket spot. Yeah.
Well, there's one way where you could give Teto a run for their money, and that's go into the hyperbolic time chamber and train for a year.
Don't rule me out yet. But yeah, just being realistic about the layout of.
Hey, you never know. If they mistrack something or they have, something unfortunate happens in their routing, you could steal a win, and then that would put you at 4-2.
It's fun to have a theoretical path. I've definitely got something to race for, and I think that race is going to be next Sunday. So it is exciting, but I'm managing expectations. And so that has got me in a good place where it's like, okay, I'm going to give it my all. Maybe something happens, maybe on the off chance. But what it's probably going to be is Bonnell and I doing a tiebreaker. And I understand they are going to be out of town essentially all next week. So I think we're going to have to get that tiebreaker race in the very last Sunday before brackets start, unless we can plan in advance before they leave or something like that. I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, we'll figure that out in the problem-solving channel or in your group to solve that particular issue. There's a couple of tiebreakers that may have to be done via async, so that's totally cool. We'll worry about that later.
We'll have to ask the tournament admin about it later on.
It's weird you're talking to one of them.
What?
Wow. Anyway, for Death Taxes N64, I'm just trying to see what we can talk about on your end over there. Because you also
did he get the same bow as me? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, your other bow was going to be in Swamp, and if you went into Swamp in Go mode, I would have questions.
Yeah. I'm really excited to watch it back.
Oh yeah, the going into Turtle Rock, you were both neck and neck, and that's where things started swinging. I think both of you died in there, so...
Oh yeah, I took the safety door, and I was like, thank God for that. I forgot how hard those lasers hit.
Yeah, they hurt on Greenmail.
They hurt. But like I said, I was really pleased with my execution, and I felt pretty far ahead, so I wasn't too afraid to stop for little safeties and things. I actually have to admit, when I finished and I found out that Death Taxes N64 was on Ganon, I was like, whoa. I really shouldn't have been, dilly-dallying as much as I did. So I'm glad I didn't know that. I felt really good about how I had played, and I think going to Pendant Pod, that was just hit after hit of validation. So I was feeling really good about that as an early pick.
That
made me feel better about. Yeah,
Pendant Pod is the play.
Yeah, I definitely thought of Leoria as I was dashing on in there.
So I do want to bring Death Taxes into this. So it was an unfortunate outcome, but any thoughts on your tournament so far? I know it hasn't probably gone the best for you, but have you at least enjoyed playing and matching up with your opponents?
Oh yeah, it's definitely been fun, and most of the games have been fairly close. And we had a couple unfortunate deaths there, but even I think 5 deaths and it was still under sub 90, so can't really complain.
Yeah, overall it was pretty cozy.
Yeah, no shade for both of you. Being able to sub 90 in this mode always feels good.
Mm-hmm. It's honestly been a while since I did that.
Because usually I start to panic if I'm not in GT by about 115 or so. I'm like, oh no, am I about to get...
Yeah. I did have one question for Death Taxes N64, which is your name from something? Because it cracks me up every time I look at it.
Not really. It's just kind of a play on
The
Couple different
inevitabilities
things.
of life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it cracked me up too, like the first time, because I've seen you hop into my streams when I've been playing too, and it's been cool seeing you around there. And that name definitely always cracks me up too.
Great.
All right. Why don't we close this out, Josh? I think this is the last match for the night.
Yeah.
And well, I take that back. There are plenty of others. None of them are restreamed though. So check the schedule at speedgaming.org/boots. And I don't know. You go ahead and close us out, Josh.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to our runners, Timp and Death Taxes N64 for being so accommodating for us and being the runners for this lovely restream. Big ups to our tracker, Justro Zooks, for filling on in here. And yeah, to Lumaga here for saying, hey, can we get these lovely people on restream tonight? Because it's got a lot of bracket significance and it'd be pretty cool to feature. And I'm glad that I spent my time here. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great night, and we shall see you very soon. There will be more matches going to be restreamed as we're ending the group stage officially this weekend. Might have a few stragglers into next week, along with our tiebreaker, so keep your eyes peeled for some of that. And yeah, have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.